Salvete discipuli, welcome back to Let's Talk Latin. So today we're going to be looking in the Latin for the New Millennium Level 1 student textbook. This is the second edition, it's dark blue, and what we're going to be doing is reading through the first chapter's story. Now I really love this textbook, it's actually the one I use in my own classroom. What Latin for the New Millennium offers is not only adapted versions of real Latin text, but it also offers a trip through time. So the very first chapter features the Romulus and Remus myth, and then after that it starts into real Roman authors from the earliest times and then all the way through like medieval Latin in the second textbook. So I really like that setup. I really like how it goes, which is why I've chosen this particular text for my classes. But this is what we're going to be doing. So in the textbook, you see that the page that's on your screen is the left page of the reading, and the vocabulary is actually on the right page here. So I'm not going to be showing that on screen. Of course, whenever we're talking about Latin, I always recommend you either buy or rent a copy of the textbook that you want to be working with if you're serious about learning the language. Also, get the workbook series as well so that you can do as much practice as possible to follow along. What we're going to do is, first of all, talk about this first English paragraph. So this story describes how Rome was said to have been founded in 753 BC, and King Numitor of Alba Longa was overthrown by his cruel and ambitious brother Amulius, who not only seized the throne, but so feared that one of Numitor's male descendants might have a legitimate claim on it, that he made Numitor's daughter Rhea Silvia a priestess of the goddess Vesta. These priestesses were not allowed to marry during their childbearing years. Of course, we would know them now as Vestal virgins. That's essentially what happens. So, this story is called Romulus et Remus, Romulus and Remus, and what we're going to do is we're going to read through it in Latin first, so that you get a chance to hear the language, and then we'll go sentence by sentence and translate using the facing vocabulary on the other page. If you're unfamiliar with Latin pronunciation, there are really two main ways to pronounce Latin, the classical way and the ecclesiastical way. I will be using classical Latin in this course. Ecclesiastical Latin is more for, like, the church. And so I was trained in classical Latin. That's what we'll be using for this. Now, without further ado, Romulus et Remus. Mars est Deus. Mars ream Silviam amat. Itaque rea Silvia duos filios habet. Romulum et Remum. Amulius ream Silviam vinculis claudit. Amulius Romulum et Remum in aquam ponit. Lupa ad aquam ambulat. Lupa Romulum et Remum bene curat et amat. Romulus et Remus crescunt. Postea Romulus et Remus Romam aedificant. And that's our story. So part of the idea here with the Latin for the New Millennium text is that you're going to be introduced to the topics of the chapter in the chapter's reading, which you should read before you do the work of the chapter. So we see here a lot of forms that end in M, right? We see a lot of words that end in just a single T. Those are the kind of things that they're going to be introducing here. Accusative case and nominative case are both in this chapter. We don't really get into verbs, but we have the most basic verbs here. But let's get into this. So, Mars est Deus. In our vocab, it tells us Mars is Mars, the god of war. Est, we see, means is, and Deus means God. Now, in Latin, and I've discussed this in the Latin basics video, there are no articles like a, an, or the, so we have to kind of throw them in. And we know the Roman pantheon doesn't just have one god, so it makes sense to throw in the article a when we're translating into English. Mars is a god. Then we have Mars ream Silviam amat. Mars is our subject here. And the next thing we look for when we translate should be our verb, which in this case is amat. Mars loves, or does love, or is loving. And then we have in the middle, Ream Silviam. Now, based on not only the word order here, but also how Rhea Silvia has a weird ending here, that tells us she's not the subject. Mars loves Rhea Silvia. You'll hear in the classical Latin pronunciation that V's tend to sound more like W's, Rhea Silvia. But when we translate into English, we can use the V sound, Rhea Silvia. Itaque, and so, Rhea Silvia, again, we look for what that verb is, habet, has, duos filios, 2 sons, Romulus and Remus. Then, we jump to this guy, Amulius, who, again, it's just a name, Amulius. We see that Ream Silviam in that middle part with those M's at the end, right? And then there's a word we haven't encountered yet with a weird ending, vinculis. But if we look on our vocab helps, vinculis says with chains. Okay, fair enough. Amulius, verb. Oh, cloud it, locks up Rhea Silvia with chains. Amulius, verb ponit, places or puts Romulus and Remus in aquam, into the water. Lupa ad aquam ambulat. The she-wolf, verb ambulat, walks to the water. Lupa Romulum et Remum bene curat et amat. The she-wolf cares for Romulus and Remus well, and she loves them. Or you could say the she-wolf cares for and loves Romulus and Remus well. Romulus et Remus crescunt. Romulus and Remus grow up. Postea, afterward. Romulus et Remus Romam edificant. Romulus and Remus build Rome. Now this is like the most basic level version of the Romulus and Remus myth that you can get. But again, what we see here is Rhea Silvia claims that Mars is the father of her sons. Amulius locks her up. He throws the boys into the Tiber River. The she-wolf supposedly rescues them, takes care of them, raises them. They grow up, and they found Rome, which is named after Romulus, and that's kind of a whole nother story. So, that's our reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to follow along. Volete omnes, and I'll see you later.